What's up, Commanders? Today I'm going to give my thoughts and what I am hoping to see in CC17 going forward. And this is 100% nothing to do with Kixeye. This is what I envision, what I'm hoping to see. It's not what they're going to actually deliver. 90% of the stuff I'm going to say is way out there, and I guarantee Kixeye have never give it a second thought. So without further ado, I just want to bring up a few things to start with. Let's go to my base so you can see what I'm talking about individually. Right, what I would like to see with CC17 is the when you're in your platoon here, I want a red slot that gives you a bogey unit that you can put a unit into your base that doesn't actually change the faction of it. So if you want to go all one faction, you get one bogey unit. One bogey unit. I don't know how they would do it. Maybe make it a little bit heavier on repair or whatever. But you could pick. So if you went all survivors, you could pick a Matt or a Nick, for instance, to go into your base. I know it was going to make it fucking hard for PvP, but it's something that a few guys have spoken about, and I thought, why not add it to this fucking thing? Another thing that I think might be pretty cool, maybe reduce some of the repair costs, is you can pick one of these free spawning buildings, and you can place a defensive, or maybe one of these two. Only one of them though. You could place a defensive unit in your base, and it would only spawn that. It wouldn't spawn anything else. So if you wanted to go with an Outback, a Dreadnought, Cardinal, it would spawn that, but that would be all it spawns. But you can only use one or the other. So you'd have to pick one. Like this one, you could spawn a Legion, for instance. And it would be used, the unit would be used, but you wouldn't, it'd spawn, and the repair time would be reduced in your base that way. I think that might be a bit of a cool thing to maybe think about. I've read them too. Right, let me get to me. I've got a big fucking list I want to read through. So starting off with the CC17 updates, and I'm going to move into the Go-Go bar to start with. I would love to see the Go-Go bar mirror PvP, and what I mean by that is you can pick up to 6 slots. How many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's 8 fucking. Up to 5 slots, say. But you can pick the first slot that's coming in first. I want it to spawn where PvP would spawn, and then it would move on to the second slot you pick. So if you pick that one and the top one second, you'd have little boxes down here with which is coming in which tune. So you click on that box and then you pick the 3000 space. That'd be your first one. You click on the arrow, you click on the box, and that would be your second tune, and so forth all the way through to 5 tunes like PvP. And what I want it to see is it to spawn where PvP would come in. So not spawn off the map. I would want it to spawn here. So it mirror PvP, and here it would mirror PvP closer. I understand that they're not going to be able to probably put in different slots, in the 4 different slots in the tone. It would probably be 1 slot. Maybe that would be too much to ask, but I would love it to mirror PvP more closely. We could have a real good test of our base without actually having someone come over and do it for us, and things would be better that way. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I would like to see it in the game. Next up is the radio tower. This is a real tough one, the radio tower. Where do they go? How do they make it better? I think obviously you're going to need more advanced scouts if they're going to put levels on it. My radio tower is tucked behind there somewhere. So advanced scouts, but I'd also like, when we did scout a base, we could hover over a unit and it would show the workshop tech attached to it. So similar to what we've got in it when we put a platoon together. That would come up as you hover over a unit in the base, and it would be the same if you hovered over a unit in your bunker. It would give you this information as well in enemy bases, not in our bases, but enemy. So we could see what they got in their base. Say if someone's really tough and you think, oh, Jesus Christ, I want to know what workshop they got in there. With the updated radio tower, it would give you that information instantly. You could scout their base, scout all their units that were obviously the ones you can see, all the ones hidden you can't obviously scout, but that's part and parcel of hiding your units, I guess. But you could check what's in their bunkers and towers, things like that. I think that's the next step for radio tower. Defense lab. Jesus, this is a hard one. I hope they don't go too heavy with the levels on it. I hope it's only 1 or 2. I want 1. But I also want to see all these turrets revamped. I don't want to see new turrets in the game. purely for the fact is these were a joke. That the Gen 1s, only one turret stood out from the rest. All the rest, these two, Siege, Sledge and Upholder, absolutely no use from the start. Everyone had to go with a Lead Storm because of the damage it done, and it was just an all-round better turret. So hopefully if they do decide to go up with updated versions or new versions of the Gen turrets, they get someone in with a bit of passion for across the board. They don't just get someone in that wants to make one turret better than the others. They've got to do the job that they said they'd do and do it well for everyone to think, right, I want to be able to use that turret, I want to use this turret. And I think that's across the board with all of these. If a turret said it's good against infantry, I'm looking at this one more than anything, it says it's good against its infantry. It actually says it's good against all, but it was built for infantry. Make sure it is good against infantry. Make sure it does the job against infantry. That's the whole point. With everything in the game, there's choices and consequences. You know, one thing should be good at something, but not good at the other stuff. So you've got a choice. You've got to pick. Your consequences are there, mirrored in what you pick. And I believe that's true throughout all these turrets. They've got everything they need. Even if they update and make them Gen 1, but not faction. So make them, update them and turn them into a generation 2, sorry. So they're all updated. Every single one of these eventually needs updating. I would say it's too many to do in one hit. But yeah, bring some of the old classic ones back. Some maybe the very first ones that come out. You know, bring them back into the game. Give them a Gen 2 makeover. Give the information. Say these are very good against infantry. This one's very good against tanks. But make sure they are. Don't make them fucking half good against tanks. And you know, so one turret rules the roost. That's stupid. You want people to want to be changing their turrets constantly. Excuse me. That means they have to be collecting thorium and reso to be able to change these over all the time. So it's a chance for you to earn some coins through people's making mistakes in bases. I will be getting back to the Gem Defence Lab, but it'll be across other things as well. Missile silos and levels of missiles again. The missile silo, the missile silo is absolutely useless. The missiles are only good once you've taken probably 90% of the base out. I want to see these revamped again. You've got plenty to go from. You know, bring them back into the game. Make them important to us again. Make them worthwhile. Once we take out that the missile bat jammer, make the missiles do things that they do. Like for instance, the Skybolt here renders bunkers and infantry incapacitated for 12 seconds. Bring it back into the game. Give players the choice. You know, all I'm going with is 2 of them and 3 of them and 1 of them because I've got no other space. Obviously, I believe Kixeye are going to probably bring more space into the game for the missile silo if they do update it. But you've got to make sure these missiles do what they say on the tin. You know, if one's good against buildings, make sure it's good against buildings. If one's good against vehicles, it's got to be good against vehicles. It's got to stun, it's got to kill them. One of the two. Same with infantry, like that one, it could be updated and made it good against infantry. The shock missile, again, it's got to do what it says on the tin. I'd love to see the Peacekeeper back in the game, but how far do they go with that? I don't want to see it just plain Jane update the fucking 3 or 4 missiles that are the newest. Do the lot. Get them all upgraded. Get them all. Maybe not this CC, but maybe next CC do the rest. Bring them back into the game for us. Where am I at? Workshop. I'm at the workshop now. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, can they do anything with the workshop? And I don't believe so. The replication thing, it worked for a time when we weren't able to get as many workshop parts from other avenues, so actually replicating them was a thing. Nowadays it's pointless, absolutely pointless. We can get them from Shadow Ops, we can get the workshop from the gear store, we can get the workshop from the events. There's workshop bases that drop on the map that give you the workshop tech. There's too many revenues. I'd leave this alone. It's a dead horse. There's no point beating it. You know, it's why put more levels on this when you don't need to. to me it's pointless. I can't think of a reason that they would need to put more levels on it. I know mine isn't max, but it doesn't take long to max it if I needed to. I just don't need to. The only reason I needed to put any levels on it was because of one of the techs for I think it was the Hover or the Raptor. I needed a certain level to actually put that tech on. But other than that, it's pointless. Leave that as is and move on to something else. Where are we at? We're at the rocket silos. These things need, if you're going to put levels on them, their footprints need to be reduced. They're way too big. I'd say make them the size, maybe a little bit bigger than these, a little bit bigger than that. You know, don't make them the same size. I'd make them maybe a wall bigger, and that'd be plenty. Give some of these players that ain't got the borders expanded. I can't get that back into place now. Give these guys that ain't got the borders expanded, they can't afford to get their borders expanded, give them a chance to be able to make a decent base, because they're struggling like fuck. I think that's across the board. Any building that they now put any levels on, excluding the CC, reduce the space it takes. I think that's the way forward. Also with the rocket silos, we need update. That goes back to the defence lab. These all need updating a little bit. Bring them back into the game. They do absolutely no damage to any of the stuff that they say they do. Especially not the Series 1 and the newer uniques. They're completely a waste of time. So yeah, all the missiles in the rocket silo need to be updated. Moving on, Gen 2 buildings. I'm expecting all the Gen 2 buildings to be the ones that have got some Gen 2 buildings. I'm expecting them all to go over to Gen 2. So the oil pump, the power plants, so the rest of the 3 of the power plants. I also believe there's going to be a few other buildings that might get Gen 2 status. Thorium Vaults maybe. The helipads. I'd love to see this get a Gen 2 remake. The airfield, and a massive reduction on size. If not, we can use the R key to change the angle, similar to what the Dragon's Teeth do. So that instead of laying that way, we can lay it the opposite way. That would be a nice feature, especially with that building being the size it is. Right, I think we nearly got to as far as I want to go. Oh, hang on, no, we've got the low wire and Dragon's Teeth. Give us the option to remove them, Kixeye. Make them go into the... Where is it? Down here. Make them go into here. Make a new tab somewhere where we can place them back into here, and then we can click them, or click and place, and we can replace them in the game. These can be a hindrance more than a help. They're weak. They're cannon fodder now. All it is they're going to send to kill these. They're going to send a phantom over them. They're dead. You know, they're more of a hindrance than a help, and especially don't help during invasion and onslaught. They're just a fucking gimmick that get in the way. They really need to be put some real thought into these. Maybe make 1 or 2 of them hidden, so they're hidden under the ground, so the players coming into the base can't see them until it's too late. But yeah, I really don't like them. I really don't like them. Hopefully you can do something about them. They're a pain in the arse. Last but no means least, platoons. And I'm talking about defensive platoons. They need to be looked in big time. They need to be looked into. Mine's 30 coins. I've had to remove some and place them into my normal toons to get that down to 30 coins. It was 60 something coins, or close to 60 coins this morning when I woke up. You're playing down. You're making it so expensive that you're not getting many people that want to do this. You're catering for the WoW coiners. Economics would tell me that that's the wrong way to go. If you want to make money out of this, you reduce it down to a little bit. Well, in fact, a lot. It needs to be reduced a lot, especially knowing that some of these units that you've put out are absolutely crap. The Dreadnought is coming out of my base once it's repaired. I might even delete the Foxy unit, so you wasted my time with that. It's a shame, but it doesn't do what we thought it would do. Yeah, you just got to start thinking about the players and the economics, the ecosystem of the game. Someone's on my phone, Virgin Media, I don't need to talk to them. It's absolutely pointless having it so expensive. You know, you're making players not want to. I'm not going to coin. I'm actually waiting for it. If there's no sale tomorrow, I won't be buying any coin anyway. So, no, tonight? Sorry. If there's no sale, no fucking coin going into the game. I'm done with coining at the expense that Kixeye want me to, with no sale. The sale for me should be constant. It should be a constant sale now for me. The game's... the content's slowed down. You've showed us the content's going to be slowed down because the 2 weekly update downtimes. So that tells me content is going to be reduced, and you still want the big bucks for the game. When the game's not... You've got a small team. You've not got the team you used to have, and we're still paying the same coin we was 10 years ago. It's not changed. So for me, that needs to be sorted. And there's one last thing I want to bring up to the guys that may be thinking about coining the CC17. Bear with me, I've got to light this fag. Light this smoke. If I say fag, the Americans think I'm gay. I think there's going to be a month now. If Kixeye don't get it out this month, next month's event should be the new Series 1 Infantry. And I think that's going to stop personally, I think that's going to stop the dervish spam. So the bunkers are going to be loaded full of the Series 1, new Series 1 infantry unit, which will counter the dervish spam. I don't believe it's going to be worth it. Unless Kixeye get him out quick, get next week, Thursday, Friday next week, the CC17. I don't believe that you need to coin it. If they leave it another month and we get that first infantry, I'm not even going to coin. I'll never coin my CCs anyway. But I'm trying to get to the. Some guys just coin it out of habit. But if it's next month and we've got that infantry, I don't believe you're going to need to coin it. I believe the base with the new Series 1 infantry, if it goes into bunkers, I believe that's going to suffice. That's going to be enough to counter anything that comes in your base, because you just look at the new Series 1s. You know, they're unreal, absolutely over the top. They've got a short shelf life. The dervish, all the air is going to have the shortest shelf life of any unit I know. Once that Series 1 unit comes out, and if we're able to put it in the bunkers, Kixeye have kind of screwed themselves with that. Unless they go a different direction with it, who knows? Yeah, I would think twice about it. I'll never coin my CCs. I'll do everything by time. The only thing I ever coin is repairs in PvP tunes. Not very often will I coin me base tune. I also believe Kixeye should maybe throw out a few repair all logistics for logging in for 7 days and things like that. But that's another story. Anyway, guys, guess your thoughts on the CC17. What would you like to see? I'd like to get the juices flowing on this and run with it and see where it takes us. I'll give some ideas, some things I'd like to see, but not necessarily what Kixeye are going to do, I guess. Anyway, take care all, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.